Hello everyone, my name is Martine Darby and the position I'm applying for is an internship with the Human Rights and Democracy program with the McCain Institute. This program is dedicated to advancing human rights, dignity, democracy, and freedom in the United States and around the world. And it includes responsibilities such as conducting research, delivering written communication, the planning and execution of events, and assisting with the production of monthly financial reports. The internship is looking for someone who is self-motivated, has a great attention to detail, is organized, and can work with high-level professionals. Serving others is something I feel like I've been working on my entire life, but I have always struggled with how I can really articulate that desire into an actual career. So I've spent a lot of time really analyzing what my motivations are, what I'm passionate about, and that has allowed me to focus in on gaining experience in areas where I can really help to defend people who need a voice or maybe just need a louder voice. Sometimes people can underestimate me because I sound nice, so I've been told, but I am fierce and I do understand that there are different ways in which we can lend our voices to contribute to causes bigger than ourselves. So to me, human rights are those rights that all people should enjoy without fear of retribution or punishment. So these rights include the right to practice whatever religion you want, the right to information and education, the right to free speech and peaceful assembly, and of course the right to live a life free of fear based on your gender, your sexuality, or your race. I would say that my respect for all people and a desire to help others was really fostered from a young age. So I did grow up as a military brat. My dad was in the Navy. He is of Mexican American descent, and he met my mom in England. She's from a really small village there. And I think the fact that they could actually come from two totally different backgrounds and cultures, make a family and life together, that was really all the proof I needed to know that anyone can bridge a gap to come together and work towards a common goal. So as part of my growing up or formative years, we did live in and travel to various countries, and we always made it a point to immerse ourselves in the local culture so we could really learn about and befriend the people we were living amongst. And what I discovered is that we really are not that different from each other, even if we, of course, do have some differences. But most people are just wanting to live a happy life, provide for their families, and feel safe and secure. So I am pursuing a degree in global studies. This is going to give me the education I will need to have the greatest impact, I think, on ensuring rights for people around the world. However, my past work experiences will also actually complement this internship quite well. Every position that I've held to date has had a common theme of helping others in one way or another. So sometimes this has been directly through volunteer opportunities that I've had through work or on my own, or indirectly by way of creating and delivering training or being a liaison between different groups of people to determine their common goals and needs. So I do have quite extensive experience with project management from when I worked in the IT industry. And that typically involved interviewing stakeholders, had to determine their technology needs, collaborating to determine a solution. So I did have to work with others to make sure that the solution was going to be adequate and accepted by everybody who was involved in the process. Mapping out a plan of attack, and then holding others and myself responsible for meeting the goals and deliverables that were part of that plan. I did also write system specification documents and training materials, and then I also delivered that training. It was really important that I did spend adequate time researching and speaking with the various people involved before we implemented a solution, or else it would be difficult to get the people to buy into that solution if it really didn't address their needs or pain points. So I can bring to this internship well-developed skills in researching topics, impacts, and ideas, as well as communication skills across broad and diverse groups of people. I do also have experience creating and working with programs that help others. I had the opportunity to develop an educational program at one of the companies I worked for, and it provided educational software programs and games to grade school students. So we did partner with a local school, and we worked with the school's administration to identify children who would benefit from that program. The kids were able to come into the office. We gave them a computer and a suite of software that they could use to help them at school. It was a fun event. They learned how to use a computer, and they received some other gifts from us as well, just depending on what their needs were. And then they would take the computer home. They hopefully were using the games to help them with their education. And then they had to report into us every quarter, letting us know how their progress was, how their grades were, and they would receive additional games to add to their collection. So it was a really fun way to get the kids excited about learning through technology, and also a wonderful way for us to participate in and address a need in the community. Some other volunteer experience I have was in the Girl Scouts. So I was a troop leader for about 8 years. It was actually not anything that I ever thought that I would do, but my daughters were wanting to participate, and there was not a troop leader at the time, so I ended up doing it. But it was a great experience. One thing that I have to say about the Girl Scouts is that while the organization itself does offer a lot of structure and plans that can be followed, it is still up to the individual troop leader to empower and work with the girls in their troop to determine their course of action. So it's really a great way for me to truly appreciate the independence and intelligence of the young women I got to mentor. They were really given the opportunity to kind of figure out on their own with some guidance what they wanted to do and what directions they wanted to go in. After I did leave the IT industry, that's when I was really faced with the actual need to define how I wanted to help other people. So I was leaving a career I had for quite a while and going out to do something new. So I actually remember going to an interview and saying over and over that I wanted to help people, but I had no idea how. So at the time, I thought that that interview was a total bust, but it actually ended up being an important lesson for me. It is one thing to have a great idea, but another to actually execute it. So execution, I've learned, takes commitment, time, planning, and effort. And I've also found those things are easier to come by when you feel passionate about the topic you are executing upon. So the experiences I've had since that point in time have actually further solidified my desire to serve others with excellence. Whether it has been explaining a closing statement to someone refinancing their home so they can pay off all their medical bills, or walking someone through the process of opening a self-directed IRA account so they can invest in something that they're familiar with and comfortable with after losing their life savings in the stock market. And really, I think it comes down to compassion and empathy. Those are universal communication tools no matter what industry or end result that you're aiming for. And I'm excited to use the skills that I've gained through my work and volunteer experiences to assist the McCain Institute in furthering human rights of all people across the globe, while also capitalizing on my true desire to serve other people. So thank you so much for your time and consideration, and I'm looking forward to working with you.